Welcome to the Ho-Ho Show, rated the #1 most listened to podcast on Pluto. So join us now as we discuss news, politics, current events, and so much more. So clear the airways and strap in as we defend the Constitution. Because freedom matters.
Broadcasting live from the Cottage Studio. You can check out my website, thehohoshow.com. I am all over the place on social media and a proud member of Weaponized Sloth Productions. So welcome to the Ho-Ho Show. And as always, I am your host, Ho-Ho. Oh yeah. So welcome everybody. Welcome Spreaker. Welcome Twitch, YouTube, Mixer, Periscope, and Facebook. How are y'all's doing? I hope you guys are doing good. Today is 420. Oh, yeah. That may mean something to some people. Maybe not mean something to others, but, you know, hey, it is what it is. It's 420. I hope you guys have a good one. This is also like Easter weekend. Always a good time. Weather's nice. I'm excited about that. Maybe spring is finally here. One can only hope. One can only hope. Spring, finally. You know, I mean, this is Illinois. Just amazing, great time for weather. You know, love weather. Illinois. I'm telling you what, guys. Bipolar. If there's any state with what bipolar weather, Illinois is it. I kid you not. We see it all the time. It's hilarious. So today, guys, I got just all kinds of stuff to talk about. You know, primarily the Mueller Report. You know, that has been out now since, I think, Wednesday or Thursday, maybe. I don't remember. You can get it. Read it yourself. You know, it's a huge read. I mean, holy crap. You know, Cliff Notes versions, I'm sure, are available everywhere, which is where I got some good information from. Also got a couple things with AOC to talk about. Well, actually, just one thing. Unfortunately, the lady is delusional. Holy crap, she's delusional. Also got something that came up, well, that I've seen, and let's see, I believe this happened like the 13th. So, like, almost a week ago, April 13th. You know, something down along the border that is a little troubling to some FBI activity. But, you know, first, let's just go ahead and start off by talking about this whole Mueller Report thing. So, you know, if you guys want to see links to every article that I use in the show, you guys can always go to thehohoshow.com. Just click on the newsfeed tab, and you guys can see, you know, get another link that takes you right to my Flipboard, you know, the article place thing, which is my go-to hub for anything, everything, and all things news. Well, then I use Facebook and, yeah, well, you know, primarily it's Flipboard, though. It's a great app to use. Highly customizable. I recommend it. They're not a sponsor. I just support what I like, and they do a good job. I like them. So let's go ahead and dive right into this. So this whole Mueller Report thing, Bueller Report, you know, this started off like what? You know, 3 years ago. Started off whenever President Trump was still running, you know, and of which case I love it, you know, because this whole thing started, if y'all's remember, from a dossier, I can read, a dossier that was actually paid for by the Clinton, you know, by Hillary Clinton, you know, her campaign. And the whole thing was just a fabricated, you know, fabricated. It was a lie. The whole thing. It was a lie. Okay. This article, which is great, by the way, you know, this article comes from the Daily Wire, you know, New York Times finally acknowledges that the Steele dossier might not be that factual. It's like, guys, you pretty well knew that from the get-go. And if they would have taken any time whatsoever to actually, you know, to research it and to see if it was credible before they started using anything, this whole entire thing from start to finish never would have happened, you know? And I I had to ask myself, with this whole collusion thing, it's like, okay, what is collusion? I looked it up. That's what weird people do. We look things up just out of morbid curiosity because we ain't got nothing better to do. So I looked it up. It's like, dude, holy crap. So they're calling, what President Trump did as collusion. And it's like, okay, so you have a campaign that is doing, research, opposition research on another candidate for the presidential run, paying somebody, getting it from Russia, and yet you're calling that person, collusion. Okay, that's kind of weird, but whatever, whatever. The whole thing was based off of unfactual dossier, but whatever. Okay, it was about collusion. So they did this whole thing. Now this report, it talks about a few different things. Okay, of course collusion, and of which case they found that he was innocent of that. They couldn't find anything to really support collusion. Okay. Now let me clarify a little bit. They didn't necessarily say that there was no collusion that happened, but they were like, we can't prove anything. It's like, we really can't. And this is also a very important thing to point out. Collusion is not a crime. It can be considered unethical, but it's not criminal. It's not a crime. Okay? So that's first. The second aspect of this is that he was also charged for, impeding investigation. Okay. Now that is criminal. Okay. But here's the thing. All right. Here's some important aspects of this that I want you guys to understand. Now, first of all, okay, impeding on an investigation. Let's think back. Let's see. And you know what, guys? I love how the Democrats are like, we only care about the history of now. They only care about what's going on today, what's going on yesterday, what's going on apparently within this whole investigation 3 years ago, or, in the case of Stormy Daniels, 30 some odd years ago. That's all they care about is stuff of that nature that the Republicans did or people that opposed the Democratic Party. That's all they care about. That's it. All right. So that aside, looking at some of the stuff that was done by Hillary and Bill, let's see, Bill talking with Louis Lerner or whatever the heck her name was, on the tarmac, had like a 45-minute, talk, whatever, whenever they were doing the investigation on Hillary Clinton, and 45-minute conversation after that conversation where they were apparently talking about grandchildren. We're not going to file charges on Hillary Clinton for this whole, email scandal. Wouldn't that be impeding an investigation? Why weren't any charges brought to, former President Bill? Why was this not talked about? Especially considering the following week, it was, okay, we know she did it. We found it. We know that there was impeding of an investigation, and we know that a criminal law was broken, but we're going to choose not to do anything. Okay. And that's apparently a big deal. But anyway, there's a few aspects of this whole impeding an investigation that is important. Okay. One of which being you have to have the intent to actually be impeding on the investigation, and of which case during the first part of this, because there's basically two parts of him with his conduct on how he was doing things that is like impeding an investigation, and this isn't impeding an investigation. The first part of this, he was very, I don't want to say cooperative, but he wasn't outright impeding the investigation. The second part of this as an aspect of, okay, this has gone on long enough. This is really starting to irritate me and tick me off. How much money are we going to spend on this? Now I'm getting kind of irritated. And he started to get belligerent and getting mad about this. Can you really blame the guy? 3 years for collusion over a fake dossier that was paid for by the Clinton whatever. Of course he's getting angry. Can you blame him for getting? No, you can't blame him for being angry. Heck, I would be angry about that. It's ridiculous, But so that's what happened. He's getting angry. So the first part about this, there wasn't any impeding the investigation. And of course, since they didn't find anything on collusion, which is another aspect of this whole impeding an investigation thing, you actually have to find something, and he has to be found guilty of it in order for there to be any impeding going on. They didn't find anything, so you really can't impede an investigation, impede them on not finding anything. You can't really say that you were impeding an investigation if we didn't actually find that you did anything. And believe me, guys, they found a lot of information. They have a butt ton of information, none of which proves collusion. Nothing that they could actually prove in court. Let's put it that way. Nothing that they can prove in court. Didn't find anything. All right? Josh puts on here, and welcome, by the way, in Facebook land, Josh. He said, post it, send it, print it. I think it's like $5. I think there's a Kindle version you can get on the Mueller Report, which is hilarious because it's like an absolutely free thing that you can get, but is right now currently a New York Times bestseller. It's like, holy crap, you can get this for free. This is public record. You can get this for free. But anyway, so you have to be. There has to be a crime that was done in order for you to impede the investigation. That's part of it. Another part of this, with being found guilty of it as a criminal offense, you actually have to be doing this intentionally. Okay? So was he doing it, or was he intentionally trying to do things to actually impede on the investigation? Well, after so long, it's like, do we need to start spending our money elsewhere? You can't really say that he was impeding the investigation due to because he was guilty of collusion, and two, that they were afraid they were going to find anything, or it's like, dude, this has been going on long enough. He's not impeding the investigation. He's just getting sick and tired of the investigation. It's like, this is embarrassing. I'm sick and tired of it. Stormy Daniels. This is embarrassing. I want it to stop. Okay. So that's the aspect on this, okay? That's what was going on throughout this entire thing, and that's basically all they were willing to say on this. It's like, this is a bunch of information, and as far as the criminal charges for impeding investigation, they were like, well, we really can't say definitively here that he did this with the purpose of actually impeding on the investigation because he was trying to hide something criminal or hide collusion. It's like, we can't prove that. We can't prove any of this in court beyond a reasonable doubt. We can't do it, because all of the weight of proof is on the, prosecution, and of which case they can't, beyond a reasonable doubt, there's no way we can prove this. We're not going to move forward with anything. That's more or less what it started off as being. Things may have changed, who knows? They like to do that a lot, things could change. But at the time, whenever Barr was doing his whole, press conference thing, trying to get out in front of all of this before the Democrats had a chance, or even the Republicans had a chance to swing this whichever way they wanted to go, he went out in front of it first. Transparency, And there's a lot of things that the president could have done to really hinder a lot of this, a lot of redactions that could have been done, a heck of a lot more than anything. He could have made this, privileged. He could have done that, because as part of some of the information that was in here, it's like, well, he could have made a lot of it privileged to where only be released to certain people, or, very closed doors, hands or eyes only, whatever they call that crap, He could have done a lot of that, but he didn't. He didn't. Unlike President Obama with a lot of the stuff that he did, impeding a lot of investigations and inquiries and everything else, but President Trump, nope. He's like, all this, a lot of it was out anyway. So it was like, why even impede on it? Or why even try to hold it back? Why even make it, presidential privilege, which he had the right to do, and he still didn't. But anyway, moving on a little bit, so They're like, okay, this whole thing is crap. It's not factual, any of this. So now the big thing that they're talking about now is, of course, impeachment. That's what the big thing is now, okay? And as far as impeachment goes, that starts off in the House, as far as the article of impeachment, and then removal of office goes through the Senate, if I'm not mistaken. And I tell you guys what, I don't know how. I don't know if they're going to do it. Okay, they may actually impeach him. Okay, they might. That's something that, whatever. They might actually impeach him. Removing him from office, however, I think that's a different story, especially considering we do have a Republican-controlled Senate. I don't see them actually removing him from office. Okay, but, impeaching him, sure. That would just, I really don't see that doing much of anything, to be honest with you. I really don't, As far as, his ability to lead, with his ability to get the job done, him being an impeached president isn't really going to do anything to hinder him whatsoever. They're doing a fine, outstanding job of hindering him anyway. They don't need to impeach him for doing that. Okay? I mean, come on, guys. Why did the Republicans lose the House of Representatives? It simply put, because the House of Representatives failed to represent the people, and they lost faith with the American voter, with the Republican voter. That's why they got, that's why we lost, or I guess I should say that's why they lost. I don't consider myself a Republican, but that's why they lost. They lost faith. They made promises that they were unable to follow through with, unwilling to do anything about. That's why they never got reelected. That's why, and a lot of them too, I'm going to step down from public service because their true colors were getting shown through too much. They didn't like that, So, yeah. Moving on. So impeachment, I really don't think that, a lot is really going to come through on it. I really don't, but yeah, I could be wrong. What do you guys think on that? Let me know in the chat. We'll talk about it. But yeah, there's quite a few different articles I have in here. I got one that I didn't have time to read. I just recently, popped up on this. And again, you guys can check out these articles, thehohoshow.com. I'm trying to get rid of a stinking ad that popped up on here. But this one I thought was kind of hilarious, and I am going to be taking the time to read this later on the night. But what a Watergate expert thinks of the Mueller Report. So I definitely got to check that one out. That looks like that's going to be, that might be a little interesting read, and that came from the Time. So yeah, I'm going to be checking that one out. But yeah, that's pretty much as far as the information goes on the Mueller Report that I had. I don't really have much more. A lot of it with so much information that got brought out there. I mean, it's going to take a lot of time for them to really dig through this. But the important takeaways are they did not find anything conclusive on collusion, nothing that they could prove, nothing that even they did wrong. Okay. And I know that there's some articles out there as far as, with him being a bad guy for telling people to lie. Okay, look, whenever he was telling people to lie, he wasn't telling them to, lie to Congress during your questioning, whenever you're under oath to tell the truth. He was telling people to lie to media, of which case, again, unethical, illegal, criminal, no. It's okay to lie to the media. And let's be honest, the media has never been his friend through this entire thing. They've not been his friend. So, yeah, I'd lie to him too. They're not going to get anything right anyway. They're not going to actually report on the news. They're going to do a propaganda post. That's all it's going to amount to. So that's where they were doing their whole, he's lying. Well, he's telling people to lie to media. Whatever. That's not criminal. Unethical? Maybe. Illegal? No. Reason to impeach? No. It's kind of ridiculous even throw that out there, but whatever. But yeah, that's some of the information that's out there, So we are going to take, that's a little loud, a quick break. And when I return, we're going to talk a little bit about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I have an article that I put on here. I only put that on there because there's a video that I want to talk about, guys. And I mean, this is gold. This video is amazing. We'll talk about that right after the break. Just a couple minutes, guys, and we will be right back. All right, welcome back, guys. Welcome back. So, this really isn't going to be all that long of a show because, I mean, let's face it, the entire news cycle is like full of nothing but this whole Mueller report. And unfortunately, I mean, there really isn't a lot to discuss about it. There really isn't, because it's like, okay, you've got GOP people that are talking about impeachment. I got an article here that says there's like 14 of them. 14 GOP senators thunder their outrage against high crimes and misdemeanors. And, of course, the Democrats want them out. So, I mean, I'm sure something's going to end up happening. It's just a question of what and when, or not really what, I guess when, yeah. Yeah. I mean, there really isn't much to talk about. So, as I said before I went on break, and by the way, hello, Vox over there in Facebook land. Good to see you, sir. So, as I was saying before I went on break, AOC. All right. AOC, this article, is, again, it doesn't mean anything. It was just something that I put on here to remind me that I got to talk about AOC. So, there is a video that she put out there. I don't know if it was on Facebook. I don't know if it was on YouTube, anything. I mean, I heard, some audio from it. And I tell you what, guys, this is gold. I mean, this is so gold. Okay. This lady, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, again, I just delusional. I mean, holy crap. Let me set it up for you. What happened was she did this video, and this is basically her in the future talking about what she had done in the past. She's talking about the Green New Deal. She's like, oh, I'm on a bullet train from, somewhere in California heading to, DC and blah, 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 blah. Talking about how her and her friends talking with this Green New Deal saved America, saved jobs and made a bunch of jobs and did all this, that, and the other. And it was just absolutely epic and amazing. You guys should get down on your knees and just thank God that I was elected as a congresswoman. She saved the world, saved the planet, saved the nation, saved jobs, saved the economy, all this other kind of crap. I mean, it was just, I'm telling you guys what, it was gold. It was gold, okay? This woman is so delusional. I mean, holy crap, really? You know, I mean, 10 years to abolish air travel, build more or less from the ground up a bullet train system to basically spider web throughout the entire nation, connecting every single major city in order to eliminate the necessity for air travel by business people and families and all kinds of everybody. You know, basically also to eliminate, you know, the global population of cows, because we can't have them cow farts, you know, because they're contributing to global warming. You know, that's why I eat beef, by the way, because I am doing my part to eliminate cow farts. You know, that's my contribution to the Green New Deal. Talking about, you know, with coal burning plants and whatnot, now these people are doing other jobs and whatnot. And it's like, this, I mean, come on, man. This is ridiculous. You can't do this, okay? 96%, 93, 96%, over 90% of U.S. energy is based, maybe not over 90%, maybe it's like over 80, like 86%, maybe it was 86%. Yeah, like 86%. Yeah, we'll go with that. 86% of energy is based off of, you know, carbon fuels, coal, gas, oil, whatever. Okay. The rest of it, and this is also including, you know, nuclear, which is, you know, not dependent on fossil fuels. We're not there yet to be able to completely eliminate all this crap, and it is going to destroy the economy. The economy. It's going to destroy it completely. Because I think, you know, taking away nuclear power plants, that still doesn't even account for 10% of our energy, you know, energy source, okay? Air, solar, water, hydroelectricity, you know, that's not even 10%, not even 10%. So you can't do this, and what she's talking about is being able to do it in 10 years, you know, which is hilarious because, you know, I watched a video not that long ago, and it was about, maybe it was like a month ago or something. I don't remember. Wow, it's been a while ago. But it was, you know, talking with college campus kids about, you know, how they felt about the Green New Deal. And it's like, oh, yeah, we love it. This is great. You know, this woman is a visionary, and AOC should be, you know, just promoted and listened to and all sort of kind of stuff. And then it was, you know, talking about what was in the Green New Deal. And they were like, okay, well, we really don't see this as feasible. You know, did they want it? Yeah. Her timeline, what she wanted to accomplish and when she wanted to accomplish it, is it even feasible? Not at all. You know, so I don't even see how that, okay, let's put it this way. It ain't going to happen. All right, let's just be honest. This is not going to happen at all. It can't happen. You know, maybe in 50 years, maybe. I don't even think 50 years is far-fetched. Well, not really. You know, 50 years, it might be able to happen in 50 years. It can happen in 50 years. A lot can happen technologically in 50 years. Holy crap. 10 years? No, not going to happen. So, yeah, I recommend checking that out. I'll find it. I'll post it on Facebook. You know, I'll let you guys get a whiff of this video, because I tell you guys what, like I said, this is gold, all right? I'm going to find it. I'm going to post it. You guys are going to love it. Just, oh, wow. Yeah, it was absolutely hilarious. You know, like I said, I listened to the audio on it, and I'm just like, just in a state of, what? In a state of disbelief. You know, I mean, she is completely delusional on this, you know, really completely delusional. All right, guys. So we're going to take another quick break. And when we return, we want to talk about the stuff that's going down on in Texas, close to the Mexican border. We want to talk about that. So just 1 second, a couple minutes actually, and I'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the Ho Ho Show. All right, guys. So before break, I was talking about what had gone on down in Texas along the Mexico border. So apparently, oh yeah, I got to get that off of there. Okay. So apparently, oops, that's the wrong one. There we go. This article comes from the Blaze. I got a couple articles in here that we'll kind of, reference in and get into a little bit. But armed Mexican soldiers disarm U.S. soldiers on Texas side of the border. Now, so basically what happened was there was like 5-6 members of, Mexican soldiers that detained like a sergeant and a private, and I very possibly have the ranking wrong, but there were 2 members of the U.S. Army in a unmarked Humvee, I believe, that was on the southern side of the fence, but they were north of the Rio Grande, which is the border, Mexico-U.S. border over there in that area. So I can at least halfway understand the confusion maybe, because they were south of the fence, but they were still on the U.S. side of the border. All right. Like I said, I can slightly understand. Slightly. Just a little bit. Understand the confusion of this. But even still, what I'm kind of curious about is, this happened on April 13th. Yes. April 13th is when this happened. Get on it. What do you mean get on it? And by the way, hello, Elizabeth, over there in Facebook land. Good to see you. So yeah, April 13th on the border, like 5 or 6. Actually, what's the thing say? Where is it at? It doesn't matter. It was a small amount of people detaining 2 U.S. on the border. So that's what happened. But it's like, okay, so where's the outrage? I don't want to say the outrage on this because, like I said, this could be just a simple misunderstanding, whatever, but it was still most definitely happened on, north side of the border, north of the Rio Grande. What were they doing up there in the first place? And you really would, you'd think that they would know where the border is, that they wouldn't have gone across and done this, so it's like, okay. And I really haven't heard a whole heck of a lot of it. And outside the Blaze, and I think there was another place that I seen an article on it. No, actually, I take that back. That was the only one, the Blaze. I'm sure it's out there in other places, but not that I've seen. But another article that I did see from Routers, however you pronounce that. Mexico warns of deep concern over armed groups on the U.S. border. Now, this has actually been going on for a while, with armed, militia being, on the border, protecting it, guarding it, where, ICE and Border Patrol either not been able to from, previous administrations and whatnot. So, this has been going on for a while. Sorry about that. I had like a little bug fly right up my nose. I hate it whenever that happens. So, like I said, that's been going on for a while. And this article from The Guardian, FBI arrests members of right-wing militia. Why they got to be right-wing militia? Accused of detaining migrants. So again, this type of stuff has been going on for a while, but it's like, okay, here's the thing, guys. When you've got sex trafficking going on the border, when you've got, cartel going across the border, drugs, all this other stuff that's going across the border, you've got to do something. You got to do something about it. If ICE is unable to do it, unwilling, as been proven in previous administrations, then, something's got to give. And that's part and parcel as to a job of the militia. That's in a matter of speaking, that's kind of what they were founded. Well, I don't want to say founded for, but that's kind of why they were given authority in the first place. Because Posse Comitatus says that the military cannot operate within the U.S., so it's up to it's up to the militia basically to guard. I guess now granted Constitution says that it is part of the executive branch. It's the duty to guard, but at any rate, that's one of the things that's going on. Now, here's actually something that, this is one of the aspects. I love President Trump for this because this was absolutely hilarious, okay? Because I'm sure you guys have heard about this whole, with a lot of the stuff that's going down on the border with, migrants coming in and everything else, they're just wanting these people to be released into the U.S., okay? There was a law that was passed not that long ago, and it was, totally cutting down the amount of beds in ICE facilities, in these detention centers for migrants, illegal aliens. And they cut the amount of beds down in order to force, the people in, to cycle them through and to cut them loose, maybe, deport some of the criminal elements in there, but to basically let them flow in. Okay, that's what they were wanting to do with them. And it's hilarious because one of the things that President Trump did was like, okay, if you guys want them so bad, we're going to send them to these sanctuary cities. Isn't that the whole point to these sanctuary cities that's out there? You're telling, illegal aliens that it is okay for you to be here, that we will be all safe, with you guys being here, and it's fine. We can still be safe and secure regardless of these sanctuary cities. And these sanctuary cities are going, whoa, wait, no, we don't, this isn't what we signed up for. This isn't what they're wanting. And in fact, there was, I think, a couple bus loads, like right around 100 illegal aliens that was on a bus and got sent to California, they actually turned them away. California being a sanctuary state, come on in, you're welcome. Turned away at the border. I thought that was hilarious. Now, granted, okay, they weren't being turned away from, state police, city police, whatever. They were actually being turned away by, the people of the state. All right. Which just kind of goes to show you that, people are starting to get fed up about what's going on in California, how they're being governed, how they're being run. Just goes to show you that they're starting to kind of get fed up with it already. So who knows? But I thought that was hilarious, because the president just flat took their, what they were wanting to do, just flat took their sanctuary cities and turned them on their back and basically made them go, we don't want them here. Sanctuary cities. Okay. President Trump was definitely that was brilliant. Another time where he was just, yeah. I thought that was hilarious. I had to laugh. It was funny. All right, guys, let's move on. Let's move on. Nope. Already did that one. Oh yeah, I'll talk about that later. Nope, I did that one already. Here we go. Like I said, this is going to be a short show. I might be able to actually do this one within an hour. That'll be awesome. Nope, I did that one already. Okay, there we go. Actually, you know what? I really only have one more article I'm wanting to talk about. That's it. One more article. So we're going to take a quick break and then come right into it. Be right back. Alrighty. Welcome back once again. Last segment of the show. Now, this is a topic that I really haven't talked in detail on the show whatsoever. There's a lot of stuff that, misinformation, a lot of propaganda, a lot of hypocrisy that goes on in this particular topic that annoys the crap out of me. And, I seen an article pop up and I'm like, okay, fine. Now's the time. Let's talk about it. So for several years, I vape. I've been vaping for a while, actually. Several years, okay? And the hypocrisy among the information that is spread on this is just, it's like, holy crap, are you kidding me? So this article that I pulled up from Town Hall, it says popcorn lung, formaldehyde, and now seizures. Oh my. Okay. Should we start from the beginning on this? Should we start with the first one? No. Let's back up a little bit. So, okay. According to common sense, okay, not according to common sense. I can go to several shops here in town and I can buy a water pipe. I can buy a hitter. I can buy all kinds of paraphernalia. I can buy a lot. And it's perfectly legal. It's not considered, paraphernalia until it is used for those means, those ends, okay? And it's not taxed as a tobacco product because it's just a water pipe. It's just a hitter. So it's not taxed, as a tobacco product whatsoever, okay? I can buy all the drug paraphernalia I want to, as long as it hasn't been used for that and there's no resin present, any of that kind of stuff. Now walk in e-cigarettes. This is nothing more than a mod with some batteries in it. Nothing. That's it. That's all this is. Okay? It's a battery pack. That's it. This is taxed as a tobacco product. A lot. Highly. It's taxed as a tobacco product. You mean to tell me I can buy a bong? It's not taxed. It's not treated as a tobacco product. But yet I can't buy this, which is nothing. This, which is nothing more than a tank with an atomizer, it turns liquid into vapor. This is taxed as a tobacco product. I don't understand that one either, because it shouldn't be, because whenever I buy it, again, I can buy a bong and it's perfectly fine and it's not taxed, but yet I can't buy this, which is, well, this isn't, but you buy them empty, nothing whatsoever. Now, in a matter of speaking, I'm fine with these items being taxed, as a tobacco product. I don't agree with it because, okay, I'll continue with my original point. Okay, so these are treated as, whenever you buy them new, as a tobacco product and are taxed as tobacco, even though this, which is the juice that is put into the tank, is the only thing that is a nicotine product. Maybe. Tobacco product, not necessarily, because it's vegetable-based or synthetic nicotine, not tobacco-based nicotine. So you can't even tax it as tobacco product. So this you can tax based off of the amount of nicotine in it, but they also sell a lot of zero-based nicotine. No nicotine in it whatsoever, but it's still taxed as a nicotine product. I don't get it. So now I'll move into this article a little bit. Quite irritating, by the way. Okay. So moving into this article, popcorn lung, formaldehyde, and now seizures. Oh my. I used to mix my own juice. I was curious. I wanted to know. I did some research. Holy crap, this is easy. And it's extremely cheap. I was like, wow, who wouldn't do this? So I started mixing my own juice. So I know what's in the juice that is used for e-cigarettes. Formaldehyde, no, it's not in there. Formaldehyde is something that is in cigarettes, not something that's in this right here. I know the ingredients that's in here. I used to mix it myself. So I know what they put in here. Formaldehyde isn't one of the ingredients. It's all FDA approved chemicals, stuff, FDA approved for human consumption, organic flavors, additives. So I know what's in here. Formaldehyde, no. Let's get into popcorn lung. Popcorn lung is one of them things that it kind of, I don't want to say it kind of cracks me up. It doesn't really crack me up. But it's amazing how these studies that have been done point to all this. And it's like, okay, guys, listen. Where do these studies come from? The government, which don't really like e-cigs because, people are not smoking and cigarettes are highly taxed, and so Philip Morris pays for a lot of these studies that are being done, and in which case, they say popcorn lung, Now, granted, okay, for those of you that don't know, I've done some research into popcorn lung, where it comes from, what it's derived from, and it's actually linked, very loosely linked, even though they haven't exactly figured out what actually causes it. But its first cases came about from a popcorn factory in Missouri. And I believe out of all the years that they ran this factory, only 12 cases of popcorn lung actually came out of it. And it was linked to the type of ingredient they were using for the flavor of butter. Now, in here, that chemical that they were using for the butter flavor isn't in here. It's only in a small amount of, custard-based or, dessert-based juices, and that's it. And truth be told, nobody uses that chemical anymore. You can't find it. They don't use it whenever they make their juice because this whole popcorn lung thing. And again, this is a study that was done by Philip Morris, and so you have to be very leery on the information in here. And if you actually research, the chemicals that are in cigarettes, the chemical that is contributed with popcorn lung is found in cigarettes up to a percentage of 400 times more concentrated than what is found in any type of e-juice. Now, this whole Caesar thing, I have no idea. I haven't heard anything about Caesars being contributed to e-juice. Now, of course, there is a lot of things that has been come out, as far as like batteries exploding, different things of that nature, and of which case a lot of those problems come from unregulated batteries being used in unregulated devices, and of which case you're going to have issues when you do that. You kind of got to know what you're using. Listen to the people that tell you don't do certain things. That's kind of what it amounts to. Whenever people go into these devices and they mess with them, trying to get as much power pushed out of them as possible, especially whenever they're using unregulated batteries, you really can't do that. You're going to have issues. That's where a lot of these issues come from. Not from standard store-bought, devices that they're using. It comes from modding them, from adjusting them, from tampering with them, and from not using them how you're supposed to, and then you'll have issues. That's where a lot of those issues come from. So, yeah, there's my thing on vaping. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't know. Those just some of them things that just completely irritate me, how, the government has stepped in, and because they are losing tax dollars, that they no longer are getting from cigarettes, they're taxing the holy crap out of this, and they're sending a lot of misinformation. I don't know why, but, that's one of the things that they're doing. And since we're on cigarettes, so now in Illinois, they have bumped the legal age of smoking up to, from 18 to 21. Okay, so let's get this straight. I'm 18. I am legally an adult. Legally, I'm an adult. I'm adult enough to vote. I am adult enough to serve my country and hold a weapon overseas and do military things. But I am not adult enough to smoke, and I'm not adult enough to drink. What does being an adult mean anymore? I have no clue. It's like, really? I have to be 18 or 21 now to smoke? I mean, it's like, it's like drinking, at least I can halfway understand that one. This is something that in excess, you have the risk of hurting other people. Smoking, no, not really. Hurting yourself, sure. Educate. Educate. 18 now to smoke a cigarette. Now, this is something that they're actually talking, that they're wanting to, put into effect in other places, not just Illinois. They're trying to do this, they're trying to start a nationwide thing, a nationwide conversation about changing the legal age of smoking to 21. I don't know how far it's going to go. I really don't. I was kind of shocked that Illinois did it, and they were like, if we bump the age up from 18 to 21, this is going to, lessen the amount of underage people that smoke. Wait a second. You mean to tell me you've got, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, and 20-year-olds that previous to this law being enacted smoked, and now you're telling them, even though this is something that is a habitual product, this is going to lessen the amount of underage people that are doing it? I don't understand their logic on this one. Maybe you guys do. I don't understand their logic on this whatsoever. Do I agree with it? Can't really say as if I do. Can't really say as if I do. All right, guys. That's all I got for you today. You guys have yourself a wonderful evening. I am off to Canada tomorrow, so I will not be around on Monday, unfortunately. It happens, though, So, yeah, y'all just have yourself a great day. Good night. Sleep tight, and if them bed bugs bite, well, then, by golly, bite them back.